5 minutes of your hearts and your minds, that's all I'm asking for. A lot of things have been said up here about voting. I want to talk to you now about how important that vote is, but also how important it is that we as a people start to look at the candidates. Still staying on the right side of history, but look at the candidates. Janice talked about subprime loans. Hearts and your minds, please, for 4 or 5 minutes now. Those were pitched to us. Every single number that you're going to hear about subprime loans affecting African American communities and Hispanics is a reason for it, because they were pitched to us. They were pitched to us after a bill signed by the president before President Bush to lower the legislation and the legal laws for regulating banking. That president signed a bill to lessen the laws in order for bankers to make more money. That was before President Bush. Those laws took effect. Everybody around the country ran around and pushed subprime loans onto the black community. Why? Because we were told that we don't have any experience in banking, we don't have money saved, we don't know anything about credit, we messed up our credit, so you need to develop a product to help us get into loans and homes. Why? Because that's how you build wealth. Now we're reacting to what was pushed 9, 10, 8, 5, 6 years ago. Every single organization, every single church, my company, my business partner and I worked with banks. And all the banks wanted to do was get in front of the black community. They would give you a bunch of money, get a bunch of black folks in a room, call it a home buying seminar, and push subprime loans to us. And everybody ran for it. Everybody soaked up the money, they ran for it, and now we're reacting to something bad that happened to us. Now, how many people in here are going to vote on the Democratic side of the fence? Raise your hand. How many of you voted on the Democratic side of the fence in 2004, in 2000, in 86, and on down the line? Right? We're reacting. Every person that came up here and talked said what we need to ask for. I'm a Republican. There's only 12% of me out there. I got to ask for something. If I want George Bush to do something for me and my people, I got to ask. Because he's going to say, only 12% of you came out for me, Shelley. You call me the demon. I got to ask him. 95% of you go out and vote for the Democratic Party for the last 40 years. Why are you asking for anything? You have the nerve to come up in front of black people and say, what are we going to ask for? No, we're going to tell you what we want. We're going to tell you what we want, and if you don't listen to us, John McCain is a very close Democrat. I don't care what you say. Mitt Romney, quiet as cat, is the only governor in the entire state of the United States to ever give his state universal health care. So if you want universal health care, look at who gave it to America first. And that's what you're supposed to be. It's universal health care. My point is not for you to vote for Mitt Romney. Listen to me very closely, the hearts and minds for 5 minutes. I'm not asking you to look at him as a candidate. I'm telling you to tell the Democratic Party that you've supported for the last 40 years blindly and loyally. You don't have to ask them for anything. The African American vote creates the Democratic nominee every single time.
Thank you.
Every single time you create the nominee. If it's not Barack, if it's not Hillary, oh, John Edwards is out, right? Sorry. Vincent Ford's not here. Anyway, if it's not Barack, if it's not Hillary, you determine who the nominee is. So you don't have to ask them for anything. Don't go before the Democratic Party and say, I want to ask for subprime help, I want to ask for this kind of help. No, I'm telling you what I need you to do for my people right now. Yeah. Or else you will not get my vote. Because like I tell you, the Republicans are bad, George Bush is bad, Dick Cheney's bad, but the guys running, it's not a secret that the two guys running are the most moderate Republicans out there. They're the most moderate, less centrist Republicans out there. That is not by accident. They ran Fred Thompson off because he's too conservative. They ran Giuliani off because he's too conservative. They're about to run Huckabee off because he's too conservative. The Republican National Committee is running McCain and Romney as the two moderate Republicans because they know they're too right-wing, everybody else is too right-wing. So you got to demand to the Democratic Party what you want. Don't ask them for nothing. That's all I keep hearing. What are we going to ask for? 94% loyal voters for the tune of 40 years. You can make or break a candidate, and we're asking for something. Subprime loans, how do we fix that? Asking the government again for something? We got churches all across this community. New Birth has a credit union worth millions and billions, close to a couple $100 million. You know how you fix the subprime? If I have a house right now, and my interest rate on my home rate, my family, is 17%, and it's about to go, 8%, about to go to 12%. Well, why can't a church come in, take over my mortgage, and charge me 5%? They make it 5% on their dollar. They're making 5% on their dollar. I can pay the rate. People aren't losing their homes because they're losing their jobs. People are losing their homes because they went into a mortgage at $1,000 a month, which they can afford, is now jumping to $1,500. Now they're squeezed. So if a church or a credit union or Citizens Trust or Capital City or all our black banks across the country came into the black community and said, we'll charge you $900 a month, they still making a profit, and we keep our homes. We got to stop asking. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I talk about.